see if I can get this on here without it falling. So I'm just basically sticking that camera there, but if it falls, it's gonna go bang and probably break. Anyway, I'll continue here. I'll go back a little bit here. Okay, what I'm reading here is Jeremiah 15:51. The reason why is because it seems to go along with the events in the Middle East in our time. Of course, I've been thinking that way since 1990, ever since Iraq invaded Kuwait. But hey, with Mosul being surrounded with the Kurds, and they're starting to come down against them with American air cover, it just seems like it's lit up again here. So I'll continue as to why here. All right. Okay, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And that could be, if that's true, and if Iraq is Babylon in our time, it sounds like something major is going to happen pretty soon. You know, maybe because of the nukes that Obama let Iran have, you know, or maybe Russian nukes place. I don't know, but that sounds. Now it could be symbolic. Babylon also could be Sunni Islam, and it becomes desolate due to the caliphate crumbling in Iraq when the Kurds come down and kick the upraised Sunni patidis of ISIS. You know, upraised Sunni patidis and prostration of ISIS, if you know what I mean. So it could be symbolic too, or it could be something really major. I'll continue here. That's if it's in our time. So I'll continue here. All right. All right. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and to me the people from the north are Kurds, and a great nation, and I think that's probably America, since America is now helping the Kurds by giving them air cover. And a king shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. And to me, the kings that are being raised up from the coast of the earth are like the Qatar, Gulf, Arab Emirates, you know, Yemen, Oman, places like that, all being wakened up on the coast of the earth. The earth, not all the earth, but only, to me, it says earth here, I think it means the Haaretz, which would be the Holy Land, the Arabian Peninsula, that part there. Okay, at the coast of the earth. Okay. Yeah. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel, and they will not show mercy. And they shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses. Now this, again, could be something that's already happened due to the Mongols coming down on their horses to overthrow Baghdad a long time ago. But I think it could be symbolic. I'll tell you why later on here. Okay. Everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against the daughter of Babylon. The daughter of Babylon, I think, probably is Iraq in our time. The king of Babylon, now, to me, the king of Babylon used to be Saddam, but now I think the king of Babylon is a blamer, because he pretty much calls the shots in Iraq now. You know, he could have conquered it or not, but he is, to me, the king of Babylon in our time. Hath heard the report of them. Okay, now, oh, I see. This could be talking about. I used to think this was Saddam because it fit well with him during the first and second Gulf War. The king of Babylon, which could be Saddam then, but I think is a blamer now in our time, hath heard the report of them, American troops, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. I think this happened during the first Gulf War. Israel planes came up to bomb Baghdad, nuke it. But I will make them slowly run away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand against me? So anyway, it's definitely not going to be me. Just appoint the time. But it sounds like it was going to rise up, and it was put off. But now, with what's happening with the Mosul and the Kurds and this ISIS, it sounds like it could happen again big time now. It actually will actually fulfill itself, but we'll see. Okay. Therefore, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. I used to think this was fulfilled during the first Gulf War, because even the least of the flock, you had reporters drawing out the Iraqis, but now I think it's something else here. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, which could be Sunni Islam in our time, because, you know, when Iraq fell, when the Saddam statue fell down, nothing happened. So it could be Babylon as Sunni Islam. Thus, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and a cry is heard among the nations. So, this time when Mosul falls, which would be the fall of Sunni Islam, since, to me, again, Sunni Islam is ISIS, since ISIS is Sunni Islam personified, that could, yeah, a cry is heard among the nations. So, anyway, that's Jeremiah 50, but I will now read you Jeremiah 51, which to me is even more for our time. To me, Jeremiah 50 was more like the Gulf War, but now with Jeremiah 51, it's more for our time. So I'll read that to you next here. All right, let's see here. Got 5 more minutes left here. Jeremiah 51 coming up here. All right. King James Version. Okay, yeah. Jeremiah 51 coming up here. Okay. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And I think that destroying wind right now is Apache helicopter gunships. They're going in and they're wiping it out, ISIS in Mosul. And before that, it was, well, actually, later on, that destroying wind sounds a lot more ominous here. I'll continue here. And I'll send unto Babylon fanners. And if you are back in the time of Jeremiah, you see a helicopter. You see it's fanning the ground. You'd call it a fanner, you know. I'm thinking that fanners, helicopters. Yeah, and I'll send them to Babylon, which probably is Mosul in our time now. Or because it's actually actually during the Gulf War, I thought I thought the Gulf War, Babylon was Iraq. Now I'm thinking it's more than just Iraq. It's Sunni Islam. It's Mosul. It's just that sort of stuff here. So, but since Sunni Islam to me is Babylon, it's now located in Mosul. Mosul has become the latest Babylon, at least for our time. Who knows what will be in the future, but for now, it is in our time. Mosul is now Babylon. For us. Okay. And ascended to Babylon, which would be Mosul in our time. Fanners, helicopters, that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. And right now, we've got helicopter gunships. We've got Apache helicopters getting ISIS now. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against her, I think, is ISIS, Sunni Islam. Against him that bendeth the bow, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, that's his armor. And spare ye not her young man. Destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they, which is the Iraqis. Chaldeans are located in Iraq, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God. You see, there's a difference between Israel and Judah. You got Israel, and you've got Judah. Judah is one of the tribes of Israel. And to me, the Kurds and the Yazidis and the people that live in those areas have a lot of Israeli blood in them. So Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God. And if you see what happens in Revelation, there's going to be 144,000. There's going to be 12,000 of this, 12,000 of that, of Israelis, making up 144,000. So yeah, if that's true, God really has not forsaken Israel. That's for sure. Yeah, for Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, for the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, I think is Iraq in our time, and deliver every, or Mosul, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So what? That's to me like a, oh shoot, I'll get back.